Thanks, bro.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it.
It is no problem at all.
What's up, guys? So I guess this is like my 3-part series, probably gonna be a 4-part. I did not mean for it to be like this excessive, but the tires are mounted up, some fresh tires on there, 195, 50s, 15s. The guy was like, man, those are really hard to find, which I guess 5 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, he was saying that they were really popular, but now that they're kind of fading away to, like, you know, the 17s and 18s factory wheels, sometimes even 20, that there's no real need for these. So anyways, we're gonna go back to Advanced Auto, grab the rest of the stuff that I ordered in the last video, and also pick up my paint and stuff because I didn't get that the first time, just because I knew I was going back. And then we're gonna go back and do some more wrenching on the old S13. This is becoming a very familiar sight here in front of my little garage. Advanced Auto still has not called me back with my parts, which is a little frustrating because he told me it'd be here at 10, and it's now coming on noon, so I'm not quite sure where those are. Anyways, I've pulled off the strut bar off the car, and I'm gonna pull the valve covers off and then park the car over here and let it sit and wait until the valve covers come in. And that means in the meantime, I'm going to spray some aircraft paint remover on the valve covers and get those primed up and ready. And I've also started priming the strut bar here. I'll show you guys. Here's the strut bar. I've got it taken apart and I'm working on priming it. I got it all stripped up and clean. I'm going to have to take some lacquer thinner because you can see the guy just carelessly sprayed. So the black mounting points for the strut bar have that little bit of overspray. I'm going to clean that up, get this cleaned up, and once Advanced Auto calls me back, we will run up there, grab my gold paint and also the valve cover gaskets and knock that out at the same time. I've also got to do a little more wiring to the taillights. Those are a mess, and this headlight on the driver's side, I have not done that side yet, so there's a few more things that I have to do to get this thing almost up to my standards, and then other than that, it's just going to be replacing little odds and ends and whatever else happens to the car. Oh, and let me show you the freaking radiator hose. Hold on. Yesterday it was just sitting here idling, and that decided to give out. Luckily it's a KA radiator hose. It's actually a 2-piece. If you look right here, it stops, and then it goes to this metal sleeve, and then another one. So I just ordered a KA lower radiator hose, and that should take care of that problem. But I still don't know why it went out. Weird. Alright guys, valve covers are off. I'm going to go ahead and start removing this old paint. You can see that I sprayed a little bit on here, and it's already doing its thing, so I'm going to go ahead and lay some more. We'll let this sit for about 10 minutes, and after 10 minutes, we'll come back, start peeling off this old paint, and get ready to lay ours on. I'm gonna let this sit for a little while longer. You can see some of the paint's already lifting. I'm gonna take off these dumb stickers on the side skirts. Hope you guys enjoyed that little clip in the last video making fun of that name. I don't know why anybody would ever name anything like that, but whatever. I guess it's a funny joke. I'm also going to clean up the intake up here. You can see where the strut bar was rubbing against it, and I'm probably gonna also paint that guy too. So little odds and ends, and you guys are probably wondering why I'm painting everything and trying to clean everything up when it's just a drift car, but when people see your car, it resembles your work and the doghouse, and you know, it'll resemble me drifting, so I don't want it to look, you know, god-awful. I mean, it can look like a drift car to an extent, a missile, but I still want to add my touches to it and make it mine and go over and basically make sure that everything is squared away, so I feel safe drifting too. There's a lot of things that this motor just someone did really half-ass work on it. I don't want to end up paying the prices for it, so if you guys are wondering why I'm going over everything, I'd love to put glass back in it or put Lexan on it or something. I'm going to figure that out. Oh man, just the little things, and we'll be drifting soon. I'm going to be throwing these on either tomorrow or later tonight. I want to adjust my coilovers and move the car up just a little bit, so I'm kind of holding off on throwing those on until I jack it up and knock all that out at once. Let me get to peeling these dumb stickers though. Little by little the paint's coming off, guys. We have a little bit of red here, a little bit of gold, as you can see the blue, and then whatever awful teal color this guy painted this car. So I think I'm the first person to take it all the way down to bare metal and actually paint these things somewhat correctly. I guess no one just spent enough time giving her any love. Anyways, we're gonna let it peel off some more. I've got some engine enamel primer that I'll lay on top of it, and then once I go get that gold, I'll lay gold on the strut bar and the valve covers. Alrighty guys, got them all cleaned up, just about down to bare metal. Some areas have a little bit of primer on them, but I'm gonna go ahead and spray these up. Advanced Auto just called me. My gaskets are in, so I'm gonna go grab those and then grab the gold paint and get this done. We are back from Advanced Auto. We got our radiator hose here and our valve cover gaskets here. And then I'm going to get this painted up, start installing those. There, the valve covers are looking really good, nice and gold. I was filming the install on the radiator hose, but then it started fighting me and then I knocked over my camera, but it's in there. So I'm just going to leave that part out because that was kind of frustrating to get that squeezed in all the way down there at the bottom. But it's in there now, it's clamped on. I'm going to throw some water in her and then get these valve covers on, start her up, and see how she does. She is all golden now. I am just about done. I have to do that overflow tank over there, but overall, oh, it's getting away from me there. Hold on, sorry guys. But overall, she's looking a lot better. I have to do that elbow on the turbo and that over there and everything up front. So, little by little, the new valve cover gaskets are on there. The old ones are laying over there next to the cardboard, and that new radiator hose is in there. I'm gonna fire her up and let her warm up and get some water in her, let her bleed out the system, and take it for a little drive. After my little test drive yesterday, I drove the car all the way up to the front of the neighborhood, and before I even left, the radiator started steaming. I popped the hood and realized that my fan was not getting any power, wasn't working at all, so this morning I ended up running its own power supply to one of the accessory switches, and now it works, it's fully functional. I have not had an issue all morning. The car is jacked up and the tire is off because I'm getting ready to adjust the ride height on the coilover. Yet another sketchy thing I'm going to show you guys in just 1 second. Let me show you the fan switch and everything. So after the overheating issue yesterday and realizing the fan wasn't working, I went ahead and just took it upon myself to wire up the fan to one of these accessory switches. So I put a 40 amp inline fuse, ran its own nice loomed up wire harness to the back of the switch, so I haven't had any issues with that. But now I'm wanting to adjust the ride height a little bit so I can actually make it around the area, and I pull the tire off, and this is what I find the lock ring doing. Why the lock ring is down there, I don't know. It's supposed to be up here. Anyways, I'm going to measure this out from here to here, get that measurement, and then I'm probably going to add half an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch. I was thinking an inch, but that might be too much with these little 195s. Actually, these are 185s up front. They're 185 16s. This is a 14. In the back, they're 15s, 195s. That is on today's agenda. My phone is of course dying, so I'm going to throw it on the charger and get to work on this front one, and when I get done with that stuff, I'll probably show you guys that side and then obviously do the rears. Yesterday, adjusting the ride height went nowhere near what I had planned or what I had imagined. Getting the coilover out was no issue. Getting that little pink lock ring off the bottom of the coilover was no issue, but the actual sleeve that mounts to the knuckle and threads on the coilover, that ended up seizing on the coilover itself. So, long story short, it was about 3/4 of the way down and seized, and I had to get it off in order to get that pink lock ring on top in the correct spot. So I had to beat it off with the hammer, and then once I got it off, the pink little lock ring threaded on, no issues. And when I went to go put that mount back on, it was just a big headache. It took me about 3 hours just to get it on. The threads were fine. I cleaned the threads. I used a little bit of WD-40, and it just refused to go on. With that said and done, I got it all situated, and I was just so frustrated and so annoyed that all I wanted to do was drive. So I slapped some street spares on last night, and I went out and did a little street drifting. I filmed some on my my GoPro and some on my phone, so I don't know how much footage I have, and I'm just going to throw it at the end of this video so you guys can watch that if you're interested. But real quick, let me throw this clip in so you guys can see what I did with the coilover, and then I'm going to close it out, and then you'll see some drifting. I wanted to show you guys the coilover so you had a better idea. So this was the piece that was seized on right here. This is the actual mounting piece that threads on the coilover and it bolts to the knuckle. And then this is the lock ring that I had to get from the bottom to the top. If you guys want to see the other side, because I have not adjusted it yet, you can see that ring is on the bottom, which is the incorrect way to set up your coilovers. It was really frustrating that I couldn't get that ride height adjusted the way I wanted it. Maybe sometime this week I'll be able to get it lifted up maybe an inch or so, half an inch. Other than that, guys, I'm going to throw this footage in, so thank you so much for watching. I didn't really mean for this to be a several-part series. I was just filming everything that I was doing, and it ended up being like this. I'm going to stop talking so you guys can see some drifting. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy these videos. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you're a returning subscriber, please hit that like button and drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think of the video, anything I can add, anything I can do. Other than that, guys, hope you enjoy this footage. I will see you in the next video. Deuces.